welcome to the show, Conversations with Jule. This is Saili Kaikar. Hello, good morning, Jule. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Siley. I'm doing fabulously. And you look great. What's going on? Anything exciting?
Not exciting. I can't put that as exciting, but a lot is going on in the world and it is really shaking all of us. I can't believe that I'm going to talk about something that I never thought I'll talk in my lifetime. And it's about this Russia Ukraine war. I'm just thinking that we all are kind of evolving, working on ourselves, raise our consciousness. How is it that a war has started right now? Why do you think it's happening?
Because of the conflict that exists in each of us. Siley, there's one faction that projects power, control, and manipulation. There's another faction that projects being the victim and fear. That energy, you see what happens? All of that energy has to be produced. It needs to go out so that we can identify what's in us. Do we fix the wars by doing something from the outside or electing other officials? That won't fix it. One by one, we can fix it. When we identify, think about this. The duality means the consciousness that projects power, control. That's the government leaders, for instance.
Yeah, so it's really about our collective consciousness that is now projecting in the world for all of us to see.
Exactly. Now, one by one, however, yes, you're so right, because collectively, those projections create the experiences. So they create the experience of fighting, the fighting. Well, the fighting is not our truth. It helps us to get to the truth.
Right.
And that's the most amazing part, because the power of those individuals, the leaders, they're projecting so that they maintain that control. That's really what they desire. That's what they've learned. And then there are individuals that haven't been able to get that control. They're the victims.
Right. And also the control, I think, is also stemming from their initially feeling insecure that, we are not safe.
Absolutely.
So we are going to control.
Exactly. That's part of the fear, and that's part of they wish to control. They wish that, you see, we all come from levels of consciousness, Eileen.
Yeah.
And every one of those levels of consciousness, they project. We're in the infallible way. We've got the infallible way so that we can identify every single thing that holds us in any kind of bondage. We are amazing beings.
Makes me think that for me, yes, there are demonstrations. This war is a demonstration for me to go beyond my judgment. But if somebody is in Ukraine right now and somebody's, they are being attacked, how do they work on themselves while physically they are being, challenged?
It's very difficult. The thing is, that's why it's present. And perhaps what will happen, individuals will begin to understand that every experience that we have is our own creation. Remember, we are beyond the mind, beyond the need for experiences when we come from truth. However, right now, we've got to deal with what is being created, which is the war. So what happens, the individuals that are fighting that war are really doing it to prevent annihilation from a collective mass of individuals that haven't realized that they have the capacity to overcome, to get beyond the need for fighting, for conflict, for wars.
There isn't anything much they can do. Whatever they have to go through, they have to go through that.
Well, right now, but one by one, we make a difference. We can't change all of that. There's one thing that we can change. And what is that, Siley?
We can change what we have already projected through our consciousness.
Yep. It's one by one we can make a difference. And as each one of us makes a difference, look what happens. We're able to produce and present peace into the world. Because when you're coming from truth, you're true love, you're pure consciousness.
Jule, when I read all the news and all the opinions of countries and people, it is very hard not to judge like individuals. Like, how can Putin start the war? He's killing so many people. People are getting killed. Now, how do you not judge a person when this is happening?
Well, when you get to a place, okay, I had an individual call me yesterday and he said, Jule, he said, this is so difficult. Very much what you're saying to me. He said, this is horrible. This guy is a tyrant. Well, if we've got tyrant in our minds and we've got tyrant in our consciousness, that's what we're projecting. So if we're projecting that, what does that cause? It contributes to tyrancy.
Yeah.
So
So we are
you're
creating
saying,
him through our projection.
absolutely. Yes. Yes. We are helping create the monstrosity, okay, that exists, or what we see. From my perspective, because you're capable of shifting the experience, when you shift consciousness, you shift the experience. Okay? So you're judging a tyrant. You're making the realization, okay, this person is a tyrant. So you're seeing tyrancy. So identify that. Tyrancy is in my consciousness, and now I've created this. I'm contributing to tyrancy. And that's when you repair that break and you transform that energy to love. And the love is you. It may seem so difficult when you're judging someone. First of all, until you unconditionally love self, you don't unconditionally love another person.
Yeah, true.
I can honestly say that I can unconditionally love not only the tyrancies, because I don't see that. I see that as part of the omnipresence of God. It's part of the experience that we're creating so that we can identify.
Wow. So even everything that at the superficial level looks right, wrong, good, bad, you're able to unconditionally love all of that together.
Yes. Yes. It's unconditionally loving the others that they realize what they need, because every single thing that we create is a need so that we can look at it and identify it and repair those breaks. As long as we're separate from the true love that is our true capacity, the love, the wisdom, the compassion, it's going to continue. It will totally continue.
But Jule, all over the world, all the leaders, everybody is projecting judgments and opinions and polarizing the whole world. How do we resolve this? Yes, one by one, but it can lead to annihilation.
Unfortunately, I don't have an answer other than one by one, because the only way that we can transcend beyond one by one, we handle it, we make a difference. But to look at someone and change them, that's not a possibility. I mean, you could do it through the elections, when you do your voting, but you know what? That's not going to change things.
We have been doing wars for centuries. I mean, if we think about it,
yes,
we have not learned. We have done so many wars. We are still creating it.
And think about that, Siley, because power, control, manipulation, okay? One level of consciousness, that fight against the victim. And it keeps happening over and over and over again. The fighting just continues. And what happens is the people that are projecting power control, they don't want to be victims. They're fearful of being a victim. The people that are victims are fearful of the power and the control. So the fight continues. So the identifying those energies and transforming that energy to true love, that's really what our job is. And yes, you're right. It happened from the beginning of time. And that's because that's what has been learned. The fight, the fight, the fight.
then definitely what we have done till now has not helped us. So we must do this, what we have not
Right.
done till
This
until
is the
now, which is
only
shifting
answer.
consciousness.
Honey, it's shifting consciousness. Love is the answer.
Yeah.
And the love and wisdom. And the, when individuals come together, I mean, I see the perfection in every person. I see it. The potential is always there. That's the beauty. Because then you don't have the facets fighting against each other. What's happening is the harmony starts to evolve. But there's no way to change it from the
Yeah.
outside in.
Yeah, I'm just realizing it. The whole war is for all of us to evolve. I mean, people are getting killed, yes, but they are setting an example for all of us to stop the judgment and raise our consciousness. And
How
that is so
exactly?
amazing. We can actually thank them for their
Yes.
sacrifices.
And it's total gratitude. When you're repairing the break, what happens is you begin to feel the gratitude for all of the experiences that have been created. I mean, it's a question, how do we stop it? By overcoming the resistance that is in each one of us. And then
Starts
one
with
by
us
one,
first.
yes,
Yes, so
yes.
very true.
Because when you look at when you're judging something, okay, the beautiful thing is it's present so that you could identify that as your break. It's separating you from the pure love of all that you are. Okay, so what a wonderful thing. Look at what we're creating. We are the infallible way, it's in us. God is omnipresent. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
happened yesterday when the gentleman started to talk to me. I asked him the question. I said, "Is God omnipresent?" And he said, "Of course." And I said, "Oh, okay. God is
Right.
omnipresent. So tell me next how you're dealing with the evil. Is God not part of that evil?" And you know what? It is,
It
because
is.
it's helping us to identify it and transform.
God is in Putin, God is in everyone. It's,
God is omnipresent, right?
yes, we are
It's a
all omnipresent,
creative
and
whole.
it's the same energy, right? We have one.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
And now
that
it's a
really sets us free. I mean, it's difficult to shift that, but I can see it. I can see it.
and the
Wow.
beautiful thing is that's what it's all being presented for. That's why we create this. That's why we've got what I call the infallible way to overcome resistance, to realize the joy, the love, pure love, so that we could share it.
Wow, Jule, that is amazing. Now it's just making me think that actually it is one of the biggest opportunity for all of us to
Yes.
start working on ourselves and
One
evolve.
by one, we make a difference. We
That's
don't
what
do
this
it
war is about.
exactly.
Wow.
And then look what happens with the collective mind. We start looking at things from the perspective of wholeness. I mean, even our government will shrink because we don't need that control anymore.
Right. Yeah,
Because
the
we're
structure will
all,
change.
yes, the whole
Wow.
thing. And one by one, we make a difference.
Yeah, we keep working on what our consciousness and it
Yes.
keeps resolving situations.
Yep. So
Thank you
vital.
so much, Jule. Thank you. It was very different. I knew it is about me and shifting my consciousness, but I just couldn't see it beyond all the news and the judgments going around. But now I know what I need to work on. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you, my love. So
Talk
good to
soon.
talk to you.
Yeah, same here. We'll talk soon again.
All right. Very good. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Bye.